So I was reading the forum today, and I came upon that thread about Lorne's memory is terrible, and it's really true that that Lorne's memory basically, well, the photo not recognizing the girl, but also all the stuff he says and forget, and he forgets to buy the condom. Like that's like the one thing he has to buy if he wants to have sex with this precious little princess, and he forgets about it several times. And I started studying Lorne and under that aspect of his terrible memory. Like, oh yeah, at one point he has her caller and he's like, I was going to tell you something on the phone, but I can't remember. And it's something super important. And he says like his memory sucks. But the more I think about it, the more I'm starting to believe that Lorne might have some early dementia. Meaning, very old people, they get really confused, more than confused, they just don't know what's going on, and they can't process the stimuli that come upon them properly, and they get all confused. And if you study old age dementia, it's not fun. People completely lose their means. They're not even human being anymore. They're just gone, and they can't even like read a book or even like understand what a book is, the concept of a book. And the more I study Lorne, the more I realize that he might have early dementia. For his memory too, but a couple of things about Lorne. Of course, if you read his lawsuit, it's pretty obvious that he's in a world of his own, where he is the perpetual victim and everybody's against him. But even before that, even when he chats with the decoy, he shows some sign of just not being able to properly process what's going on around him. He doesn't seem to be. There seems to be some kind of loss of contact with reality. Just the way he interprets the boss telling him what to do and telling him to fuck off, and just the going to the karaoke and he says the hostess skipped over me, and he doesn't seem to realize that he has no chance of becoming a karaoke singer. For example, he seems convinced he's going to become a karaoke star. And just the way he pictures his relationship with Kayla, it's very demented. It's not even a rape relationship. Like he starts wanting to marry her, and he says, "You're mine. You belong to me. I'm the only guy to see her vagina." It's a bit like a little kid would act, and that is a point I've brought before. But a little kid is like, "She's my girlfriend. You cannot talk to her." That's like little kids are. And Lorne is not a little kid anymore. I'm starting to believe that he might have early dementia. Dementia, whatever you pronounce it. I would say in this case it might be caused by alcohol. There is a dementia for alcoholic, like Edgar Allan Poe. That's what he had towards the end. And the more I read about Lorne, especially right now, I have to guess that he had to stop drinking in jail because there was not really any easy way to get alcohol. But I was reading about his lawsuits, and he seems like he's obviously mentally ill, but I would say more than that, he's just completely lost contact with the reality. But he's still a pedo, so it's fine to make fun of him. It's not like I'm not going to blame his illness for him, but he's a demented pedo. He's gone, but more than that, he seems unable to form like some logical statements, just to associate A to B. Like, let's say you do A and B happens. Eventually you understand, if I do A, B is gonna happen. But Lorne doesn't seem to get it. He keeps appealing and appealing, and he doesn't realize that he has a 0% chance of winning. And at the same time, at some point, he is oddly coherent. At some points, he seems to come back and be there, but only momentarily. So that to me strikes me as dementia, meaning his brain, the alcohol. There's a form for it. When the alcohol is not good for you. It really screws your brains up if you get drunk like every day. It's really dumb to do that. And Lorne, he's quite the alcoholic. Like he seems to drink a lot. He's drunk several times during the Lornography, and he goes to bars all the time. And Durango Mango told us he's actually an alcoholic. I believe that. And about Lorne, I believe that alcohol burned his brain. Like his brain is gone. Now he's just dementia. There are more evidence, like the fact that he sleeps on the floor, and he seems to think it's normal. The way he interprets his reality, I could say it's a narcissistic. It's not necessarily dementia, but it adds credibility to my thesis that Lorne has early dementia, and that at this point, I mean, he's still there. He's not like an old person that just doesn't know what's going on, but he's showing some early symptoms. And I'm going to say that when Lorne is going to be 50, 55, his mind's going to be gone for good. He's going to be probably placed in a mental asylum until he dies. a mental hospital, unless he somehow becomes like like homeless people. That's the only other option. But there's no way Lorne is gonna have any kind of life. I was reading today about Taimanov, which is a great chess player and piano player, and he became the father of twin girls at 78 years old. Like, he became a father again. There's no way Lorne could do that. There's no way that at 78 he's gonna make a family. Let's face it, Lorne is 45. He could still start a family if he meets a girl that is like 35 and they make a family together. Lorne could have a life. He's not dead yet, but I think his mental illness, not just the dementia, but also the mental problem he has, the narcissism, the delusions of grandeur, and all the stupid shit I talk about, the bipolar, all that stuff. There's no way it's gonna happen. He seems, it's like you remove 90% of his brain, basically. Like, he functions at 10% of his capacity, and Lorne didn't have much capacity to begin with. So the more I read about what he did recently, he seems senile. I think a more polite word is wizened. He seems as a wizened, Wizened, wizened or wizened. I think it's wizened. But he's into his dotage. I guess I could use that word. And he's quite young. At 45, I hope I'm going to be still there fully mentally. Like, at 45, I hope I have at least a couple kids. And I hope I can be with them and enjoy time with them. That's what most people want when they're 45. Nobody wants to be 45 years old and be suing everyone and be in the world like, God damn NBC. It's not a good life, But at 45, it's not too old for him. But he seems so stuck and so... I would say at this point, if I was Lorne, if he has a moment of lucidity, he should commit suicide, because it's not going to go uphill. It's not like he's going to rebuild his life. His mental illness is going to progress, and it's going to get worse. It might be better to end it while there's still something of him left, And of course, the biggest sign of early dementia is a lack of memory, bad memory, but also the way he lives his life in Nashville. It's a pretty bizarre way of living, He doesn't understand several important concepts about human life. For example, when he says, I'm tempted to let my dog bite the neighbors. Wouldn't it be easier to just tell them to stop bugging you? Yeah, just open your door and say, hey guys, stop knocking on my door, okay? I'm busy. Instead, he's fantasizing about having his dog bite them, but then he's like, I can't do that because I'm gonna get a fine. Like, forget the pain he's gonna cause, forget the fact that Bud might get euthanized. If there's a dog that bites someone, the dog might get killed. No, Lorne is concerned about the fine. And the relationship with Kayla, it's really disgusting. Let's focus on one aspect, which is the demented aspect of the chat log. The way Lorne bases the relationship with Kayla is just so bizarre. Forget the sex, let's just focus on what their normal daily life is going to look like. Kayla is basically going to be like an object to Lorne. Not even a pet, but an object. She is a way for him to get sexually satisfied. And nobody that has like a modicum of human presence would treat a woman like that. Even the worst rapists in the world, they don't consider women to be objects to be used. If you go like a serial rapist, they have usually some kind of presence. They don't have dementia. They're not like, I don't know how to express it. I'm not saying they are nice people, not at all, but usually they're going to be like, it was part of a thrill, a thrill. But Lorne doesn't see it. He has a thrill, but he really sees it as some kind of game. And a game of manipulation, as a way to prove his self-esteem. Like, I finally have a little baby girl, and she's young, and she depends on me, To her, I'm a god. And Lorne basically would be a good sect leader. I know we like to make fun and be the Church of God and all that, but if Lorne was a little bit less crazy, less mentally insane, he would be a good sect and a cult leader, because he has no inhibitions and he gets a lot of satisfaction from being glorified. I'm very surprised that Lorne doesn't like us. I'm supposing because we're not really glorifying him. But Lorne could be like a sect founder, and people, like, he would be very happy. Like, I guess usually when people lead a sect, they're pretty intelligent. They have some kind of wisdom. Lorne doesn't have any, so he can't really become a sect leader, but he would dream to be one. To go back to his dementia, I would say that if you did the test that they did to all people, like, you test how advanced the dementia is, you have them draw a clock, for example. That he could probably do even today. But if you ask a question like, Lorne, do you believe you have a case against NBC? He's going to say yes. And I guess some aspects of his intelligence have become affected by his mental illness, by his dementia. So he's showing some sign. I'm guessing that if there was one good point in jail, he stopped drinking. So that helped at least stopping the process from progressing. But now that he's out, I'm guessing that he gets drunk quite a bit. I'm guessing that most of the money from Clark's milk goes to buy alcohol. And he gets drunk pretty often. And that's going to bring him back to progressing the dementia. And I would say the lawsuit might be the last thing that he clings to reality. I'm not sure what plan he has. I think he has given up on suing NBC. Now he really doesn't want to be a sex offender, but when he realizes that he's going to be a sex offender for life, what's going to happen? What is he going to do? I don't know. I have no idea. He might turn his attention to something else, because if he doesn't, he's going to crash and die, because he's going to have no reason to live. He's a sex offender with no life, no friend, no family, nothing. He has just his mom. But his mom doesn't really count for him. She's not important to him. She's a treasure box that he can use when he needs money. That's everything his mom represents to Lorne Armstrong. She's a person that he can guilt trip into loaning, aka giving him money. So it might be a good thing that Lorne keeps suing, because if he doesn't, I think the illness is going to progress much faster, and he could end up like naked on the street yelling at cars and be like, NBC is evil, and he would get arrested. And he even threatens it a little bit in his lawsuit. He says like, if people don't stop making videos about me, I might do something drastic. Like the idea probably crossed his mind of just. I was listening to Jimmy Wilson, and I have to make a video on that, but maybe kidnap a little girl, and rape and kill her. That's the kind of stuff that Lorne would do if he did not have his lawsuits. Not even the job. The job is not important to Lorne. It's an occupation. I'm surprised he hasn't told the boss to go fuck himself already. But the lawsuit, I think it's the last string that holds him back to reality. When you read his lawsuits, not the recent one is oddly good. I'm guessing he has a lawyer, but before that, just when he came out of jail, it's pure craziness. It's like Crazy Amy level of craziness. And about dementia, I guess our best hope is that Lorne is a coward, so he couldn't kidnap a little girl because he's too much of a coward. Like, if he was going to kidnap a little girl to rape and kill her, he would have done it already. Let's face it. He's a coward. The idea probably crossed his mind. Like the guy Smileman74, he probably was going to the grocery store and he saw a little girl like jumping on a trampoline, and he thought about adopting and killing her. That's the kind of stuff that disgusting piece of shit like Lorne think about. I say now, chances are he won't do it because he's a pussy. Of course, he's a pussy in a good way. Like, he's too cowardly to do something really evil. That's good, right? It's not like I'm complaining about it. But if he somehow had a rush of courage, he could become very dangerous. I really don't think that Lorne should be free. The best hope we have is that his dementia overtakes him. And I would say within 5 years, he's going to have alcoholic dementia, and he's going to be like gone and just completely unable to just even work, even stand up and do something. He's going to shit himself. He's not even going to be able to use a computer. That's how gone he will be in a couple of years because of early not Parkinson, but early dementia caused by alcohol. Yeah, so that's Lorne Armstrong. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.